Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Pep Talks. I am your host, Pep, and this week I decided to do another solo episode, do it on my own. It was a pretty busy week, somewhat. There's a lot of moving parts in my life right now, so um, I kind of decided to just go ahead and try to do it on my own again. I wanted to keep trying to do these every so often, just so I can know that my ability to speak is still there, my ability to make conversation even with myself. I think that's a really hard task for a lot of people I've heard so far, and I want to try to at least be okay at it, pretty good at it. And I think it'll keep me sharp. It'll keep me sharp, and it'll keep me more motivated to keep trying to focus on myself, on trying to better myself and trying to get out of my comfort zones, even though I used to be really good at this. It really has been a little bit difficult lately. I don't know. I've been getting out of my zone of being able to talk to just anybody. I don't know. It's I guess just a phase I'm going through, just some type of era. But yeah, so far right now it's been pretty good. I wanted to see also just kind of talk to you guys about so far the episodes, how you guys have been feeling about them. I'd really appreciate some feedback. It doesn't have to be directly right there on YouTube. It could be through Instagram, through if you have my number, definitely through there. Anywhere you guys can contact me, that'd be really good help. Cause yeah, I just wanted to be more connected to what the people want, the people who are you guys. I mean, even just getting a couple views to me was pretty big. So I'm glad I keep doing this, and also I wanted to keep doing it for like somebody like myself that always kind of like brought it up to even people, kind of shared my ideas of what I wanted the podcast to be, and it was just always me saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, and it took me a while to get here, and it's taken me some attention and some type of discipline to keep doing this. So I'm working all of that, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity. And yeah, right now I wanted to kind of catch up with what I did over the weekend. I thought it was pretty cool. Um, it's a really good conversation for this episode, especially being a solo episode. But yeah, last week, starting like around on Friday, it was a pretty filled week with a bunch of different people that I got to connect to. On the Friday, it was a gig with the guys from RYE, Ricardo Manuel. So that was also pretty good. That was good. They did a lot of Fuerza Regida covers in honor of the concert coming out and the album. So it was good seeing them kind of like exercise all of those songs, being that you have to learn the style that you have and kind of adapt it to that song just so it kind of sounds good in your voice and the setting that you guys play in. So I think that takes a lot to do, especially in front of people when you don't always have like the need or the time to learn those specific type of songs. So doing that in a small time, that was good on them. And yeah, I'm just excited to keep working with them. I know we got some stuff coming up. But like big right now, like that we've just got announced was Oya Fest. We're getting that. There's gonna be sometime in October, I think. And yeah, we're very excited to come again another year. We went last year. It was my first year going with them and taking pictures. That's when I started kind of doing the photography around that weekend was when I first went out with the camera and just started taking pictures for these guys. And I can say that's probably like the first event I ever really did. So that one was it's gonna be cool. Mark that 1 year gap from taking pictures and starting getting into that type of world. And yeah, Saturday was also really cool just because we were able to go to my boys Joaquin, over there Non Periel. How do you say his name? He's gonna hate me for this one, but I'll give him a shout out. Non Periel, yeah, studio over there in Mapleton. Shout out MBT, and yeah, it was awesome getting to be over there with everybody. Got to play with my boy Adrian over at Eighth Row. We were on the Eighth Row team this time, and we actually got the W. That was pretty cool. We played against probably like four different teams, and that's what it took to get to the final. And I honestly didn't really underestimated myself. I thought I was gonna do okay, but never did I think I would go to win it. Um, it's just cool because me and Adrian back in the day, we used to go to a lot of like house parties. And so all those times playing beer pong really paid off. We actually were partners all the time. So it kind of made sense this time to go about it. So that was really cool. It was good seeing a lot of people that I hadn't been able to see in a while. And it kind of turned into a little hangout right after. And just kind of seeing everybody from a while ago was cool to connect. And I think that's some of the stuff I always look forward to, even if it's really small and maybe a little intimate with just a certain amount of people. That those events are sometimes cooler just because you get to connect more, you get to talk more rather than being like in a large setting like a club or like music festival or all that stuff. So that was really cool. And then leading into Sunday was our third year doing the book bag giveaway. This was a second year with Normal because the first year that I consider my first year with the company Toro Contracting was really more with my god brother and I think a couple other sponsors that still are over here with Normal. And so this year it felt like it was even more sponsors, and that was one of the topics I wanted to get into. It was just a huge amount of sponsors that all basically used to do their own thing, and now we kind of came together to do one great big thing. There was a lot of help through not only the sponsors, there was a lot of volunteers. The barbers really came out. They showed out. There was a lot of cool. It was cool how a lot of different shops came and brought their some of their barbers over, and most of the owners were there, and they were just helping out cutting, giving haircuts to the kids. So every year it gets bigger, and now I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen next year, being that it's gonna be the fourth year and continue on. We're gonna try to just keep giving back to the community. I think that always kind of settled a lot with me and my partner Steven, just because when we were younger, there was always that time where we were trying to get school supplies, and sometimes it was like, nah, I just use the one from last year if you still got pages in those notebooks, or that book bag got some years in it. So we always kind of got that type of life, and it was cool. I think that sometimes you gotta realize like you don't always have to buy new stuff, but if these kids do need it, and I'm really glad that they're able to get it and they have the resources now, which is the community coming together, then I'm all power to it. I'm more towards having them have a little new book bag and some new notebooks. And it's just, I think the other important thing of doing this event is just being able to like see how many people can keep joining every time. And I feel like maybe we can take it to something else, even more than just giving back on the beginning of the school year. Maybe around Christmas, we'll probably see a good giveaway with a bunch of other sponsors coming together to get some toys. And I know that one would be a really good idea for the kids, just because I know those times can be hard right now. Everybody's feeling it. There's a lot of jobs kind of slowing down, especially like in our industry in construction. We've had a lot of slow weeks recently, and it's just a battle sometimes. You got to kind of get through it. All of the homies that have construction companies, a lot of them have felt those times where you just, it's a little different. It's a little difficult getting used to not getting those checks that you normally used to. So I know everybody's kind of feeling that. It's just a very odd time right now. And so hopefully we can bring some more joy later on in the year, space it out. So I know around the holidays it gets hard when, you're not able to get a certain amount of food, or, the gifts you wanted to get your family, and you got to tie down a little bit just because it's also slow. It gets slow for a lot of industries in the winter. So I know that's a big factor of why people kind of like cut back in the holidays, when you wish you could move on and kind of keep giving your family more and more that you're working towards that. It's just hard sometimes balancing that. And I see that a lot, especially I saw that a lot like growing up, and when it's the parents have to figure it out. I've recently been thinking a lot like this, of realizing that our parents are just people, and I feel bad for ever even giving my parents shit for certain things that would happen. And now I see like when stuff just goes wrong, and you try to do everything in your power to make it go right, and it just still, life just has a funny way to fucking you. So you're just kind of stuck, and you don't know what your next move might be, and what's the smartest way to go about it. So being put up sometimes with challenges, you see that with the parents it must be hard for them. And now a lot of my friends are parents, and they talk to me about a lot of stories of like shit that they didn't really think about or imagine. And yeah, kind of great to be around people like that, because just like they tell you like some stuff that happens that maybe not be the funnest, they also like share the really cool details about having somebody to look up to you, and somebody that's gonna be following your every move and learning from you, and they're able to see their kids grow up and be a little bit more involved now that they've, a lot of them have studied, a lot of them have taken the time to, either grow their business, grow their income, and they're able to kind of, step aside from the work part of being a parent and have fun with the kids. And I think that's very inspiring, because I want to be like that. I want to be able to be a little bit more stable where I can really balance my time with with kids that I have. If God forbid, God better meet that. I always tell people you can't do it alone, and not, you got to try to do it with somebody. So yeah, I think that's probably what really like kind of like goes back to the family, like going through tough times. I think it's really good that we're able to kind of help everybody balance out and help out any way we can, especially if it goes good for everybody right now. All the sponsors, hopefully their businesses are flourishing. It's a really good way to get back to the community, that sometimes they help us get jobs. A lot of the community even will employ us. I love seeing when the people around us use the businesses that are around them from their friends, like a detail from Mate Thrill, or I have a barber that I go to. Not only do I know his family, but I go to him, and I've been going to him for years. A lot of people have that connection with their barbers. I have a friend that cuts our grass, etc. So I think that's always the best way to go about it too. You kind of make a community with everybody around you. You make it easy to connect for stuff that you need, rather than going out to people that maybe sometimes could cross you and leave you in the dirt, and kind of do a scam on you. And yeah, I think that's going to be good for all the sponsors that keep coming in. They're going to be able to kind of promote their businesses more, and we just connect, make a big circle of everybody that can help each and everybody else. So I think that's a big part of the weekend, was a lot of community. There was a lot of, like I said, a lot of friends that I didn't get to see for a while. You get to connect with them for a little bit, and I think that's just important. Really enjoyed the weekend, and I hope everybody did too. Hey, this is cool. I feel like I haven't really like sat down and talked like this for a while, and we're not that bad. We're in pretty good time. Let me see. I wrote down some key points for all the people that always ask me, like, what's something to do on a podcast, how to keep the conversation going. It's write some key points down so you can kind of follow. I know right now I sound a little bit, going flowing up and down and everything, but you just got to kind of get used to talking by yourself, and remember not to lose yourself in the conversation. Hopefully people don't get annoyed by the voice. Yeah, and then, so right now, I actually also took the time to do it on my own, just because recently I've been feeling a little bit kind of like, like I'm doing all of this change in the adding more stuff to my plate, with like photography, with the podcast, with just trying different things now. I'm trying not to waste my time so much, and yeah, I think right now I'm just going through like a rut, you could say, in the phase of trying to get better every day, where you feel a little like kind of like stuck, like the process is a little bit paused, or you haven't felt like any movement really drastically. But I think the more I kind of like explore that, and I like to bring the topic up, because I've had a lot of conversations recently with a lot of friends that obviously everything that's said is kept in confidence, but it just seems kind of interesting how a lot of people are going through close to the same thing, and it sounds cool to hear it from somebody, because you're like, okay, maybe it's not that I'm lost, is that we all kind of go through the same phase in life. We just kind of don't mention it, because maybe you don't like to feel confused, or you don't like to feel a little bit kind of like off. And so I wanted to come on here and just kind of talk about like my perspective on how I'm thinking about going about it, and maybe if I have seen some progress in the past few weeks or months, on getting better at doing shit that I said I was gonna do, and being more self accountable, being more, um, just just having more of like a work ethic towards the stuff that I want to do and then I set out to do, but I haven't for, and what really turns out to be just excuses. So yeah, I kind of wanted to just mention that to anybody who's listening, and I know I have a lot of friends, especially. I'm not trying to be biased, but it's just a lot of my boys, a lot of the homies that sometimes we connect for a while, and then you're kind of like, oh shit, like we're still, trying to battle whatever it is that you're doing every day. So you you kind of just start to realize that, yeah, at a certain point, everybody just has to find their way. But since we're all kind of going through it, I just wanted to kind of share my perspective. So right now with me, like, I think the biggest issue right now has been maybe being a little bit too, what is it when you, like, really bad with timing, like with doing the stuff in a good timely manner. I procrastinate. I know that's very very common to hear, but yeah, no, I feel like sometimes I it beats me to things that I know I should be turning in, things that I know I need to get on, but I've gone through it a lot where I overfill what I need to do, and then it just turns into a lot, and then you're kind of just sitting at it looking at the pile, and you're like, fuck, like, damn. I mean, I did wish for this, but I didn't think it was gonna come this at this rate, and so you're kind of stuck with that bill, and you got to pay the time. And I think that's just right now what I've been trying to do is just make checklists and just try to get after one thing, even if it's one thing a day or two things. Just try to do whatever you can, just as long as you don't stop. And at the beginning, it kind of feels like, like I'm not even doing this like in a good manner or a good timely manner, or you just get frustrated with not really having that initiative to just be like, just fucking do it, like just turn it in, or like let me just film this, or let me set this up. And I think with that, like, the checklists have been helping. Kind of, you put yourself on a pedestal where you're looking up to yourself, and you're like, all right, like, you got to do this. And if every time you kind of neglect it, it's gonna sit in the back of your mind like, you should have been doing this, you should have been doing this, and then you don't even have a good time doing anything else because you just keep thinking about how you've lost on that opportunity. So checklists have been a good help. Like today, I had a checklist to do this podcast, and I was like, you gotta do this because it's Monday and you gotta post something. So done that. Gonna go do some exercise. Got some work in on the computer. Trying to turn in some bids, some estimates, because we gotta get that work. We gotta look for it. And so yeah, I think the checklists have been working. Also on the phone, I think that's a big thing right now that's taking a lot of my concentration. It's just sometimes if I have a little bit of free time, I'm just start scrolling, getting stuck. I like to watch a lot of like comedy podcasts, like reels, just because sometimes they do bring out like the funniest parts. Right now, it's been the Kill Tony with Shane Gillis he plays Donald Trump like the entire episode, and then Adam Ray, I think that's his name. He plays Joe Biden like the entire time, and they just go off. All the fucking reels are funny as shit on that. If you haven't watched Kill Tony, it's about it's basically a podcast as well where Tony Hinchcliffe, which is the guy that they named the show after, he will have a panel of people. One of them is Red Band. I'm barely getting into the show, but I think he's a comedian, and I think he owns like either like a comedy like stage or just a regular venue where they play like music. Because I know the Kill Tony band plays there every now and then. And then yeah, he'll add like any comedian or anybody that he wants to invite on the show or that will accept to come on the show. And they will be able to listen to a bucket full of people that they can pick randomly. They will be able to listen to 1 minute of them doing a comedy set, and then they will be judged and have like a small interview with the whole panel, which could be anybody. And then that episode, it was Shane Gillis as Donald Trump and Adam Ray as Joe Biden. So that must have been a fucking fun as experience for all those comedians, because that sounds like fun. And it was really funny. I think I recommend you guys going to go watch it. So yeah, stuff like that is where a lot of my time gets taken up, getting eaten up. So I'm working on that. I'm just trying to. I set up there's timers on this shit where you can like set the time on how you watch, how long you're on the phone, or it just reminds you like, hey motherfucker, like you've been on here too long, getting too comfortable on this, and that's helped a lot too. Just kind of like trying to reduce the time or remind myself like, hey, you realize you're spending a lot of time on here because it keeps telling you, like that little fucking thing that blocks your screen. It keeps telling you like, hey, motherfucker, like you gotta move. So I would say that one too, because I feel like a lot of people get stuck on those. I've seen a lot of friends sometimes do it. We do it subconsciously, and you kind of just start scrolling, and you kind of just start, going about learning. I mean, sometimes it is like you do learn certain shit, maybe, but most of the time it's just bullshit. So. And sadly, I'll shortly be joining into that realm because I've been told a lot to do some shorts, and I think it would help a lot, the podcast. I get it. Sometimes watching something for a whole hour isn't the easiest, but I mean, come on, guys, we gotta extend our attention span a little bit. So, but yeah, I'll do that for any newcoming people that want to see something that is related to the podcast without having to watch the entire episode. I'm gonna look for certain times in the episodes and start, trying to do my own reels and shorts and stuff. If you guys have any recommendations on apps that do those, I'd appreciate it. Holy shit, the colors are all changed. That's okay. You guys are entertained by the lights, maybe. Maybe that help you guys stay for a little longer. And fuck. I don't know. We were talking about attention span. Look at that. That's funny. But yeah, I'll start working on those reels, trying to get back on TikTok. I actually just stopped using TikTok a long time ago for that same reason. That is just the algorithm gets you sometimes, and it just starts like fucking taking away your time. And now it's doing this with Instagram and shit. So definitely a battle, but I don't know. Maybe it's not lost yet. Well, yeah, I think right now that's so far what we're doing for the podcast. In the future, I did also want to kind of like speak with everybody about maybe if you guys have any ideas that you would want to see, like I said, or you want to come on the show. I've had a couple people ask me to come on, and I think that's going to be really cool just because they must have something they want to speak about. Or they want to just, have a conversation. I think that's also easy to record, and hopefully that gets done with everybody that has been interested in coming on the show. A lot of people I've asked so far, they've said yes, so I got to get on those. Gonna be really interesting stuff. We are gonna get out of the set every so often, just because a lot of these interviews I can do with minimal recording and just kind of being with the person doing the task that they are interviewing about, or whatever they're known for. We can kind of be in their setting, show make them a little bit more comfortable than just coming here and they're just sitting in front of a camera where they know and they can see everything being set up around just them. Maybe I feel like that will kind of loosen up the conversation. So that's going to be interesting, doing that in different settings. Going to be, you guys will be able to see where these people work, where they, they spend most of their time. If it's not at home, most people are hustlers. So they'll be wherever they work, whatever they're doing for work, you'll be able to see kind of like in real time how it goes. And I think that's going to be really interesting, really cool for you guys to see. Like I just mentioned, I've had people reach out to me on the show. So if you guys have anything you'd like to talk about, organizations, maybe your job, if you're really like, you feel like it's impacted a lot of people, not just you and your family, and you would want to come on, bring awareness to it, let me know. You guys could always reach out on social media. I'm basic peps _17 on everything. So, well, I'm really only on Instagram right now, but I can definitely be reached through PepTalks 770 or Peps _17. And yeah, any ideas? Like I said, any requests, if they're feasible, I'll definitely try to get them done for you guys. And it also helped me get out of, like I said, my comfort zone of just sitting down and, have the setup kind of basically already here, and it will help me kind of be a little bit more versatile, and then it give you guys kind of a break from the regular setting, and then we move on to different settings. I think that's gonna be really fun. And yeah, so far this is gonna be episode 6. Definitely will give you guys some time. It's a little shorter this week, so I'll give you guys time to go back to the previous episodes. I really recommend them just because it's cool to how far we can get into somebody's life where they feel a little bit like a tunnel vision, and they forget that sometimes people are interested in stuff that they do. Like I said, I've always been a fan of seeing people be good at something because I know it takes time and it takes a lot of attention to be good at something. So I've always respected that. And that's what you see through all of my guests. And I hope that we continue to see that through future guests. I just want to learn about their story. And most of the time we kind of realize like we're all people and we all go through shit, but it could always be fixed. And yeah, I hope you see that. I hope you see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and not everything that's bad stays bad, and when it's good, you gotta also understand that that's why there's that balance, that you have to feel both of them. You have to feel the high and the lows, and I hope you know that a lot of people are rooting for you, and your family is rooting for you. People that you go around, you have an impact on them, whether you like it or not, and whether you want to believe it or not. I feel like a lot of people underestimate how far a hey, how you doing? My name is, or just having a small conversation with somebody, they make that connection with you, and you don't know that person just needed somebody to let them know that they're seen, that I recognize you, and people need that. So everybody, let's just continue to be that person, and I appreciate you listening to the podcast. Or it gets like this sometimes. I'm just freestyling at this point. I don't think I said anything to get canceled, and I don't mind kind of letting you guys into what I'm thinking, because I feel like a lot of us, like I said, go through the same things, and it's cool to know that we could talk about it. Why not, right? Well, like I said again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming on the show, listening to me fool around, talk bullshit, but hopefully with a good purpose. And I hope to be able to give you guys new episodes coming soon, with a lot of interesting details, a lot of interesting guests, and just a lot of good time. Thank you again. Like and subscribe to all the people that have subscribed or have been viewers. I appreciate you, and I hope to keep giving you something to come back for. Anybody who's new, thank you for watching. Like I said, I have a few other episodes in the past with great guests, and I'll just keep bringing those out. Thank you, everybody.